All right, so this is Tulsi Gabbard coming out at a Trump rally, and apparently she's gonna full on endorse Trump. So I haven't heard this yet. I mean, I kind of knew from watching her individual YouTube channel that she's been going Republican for a while, and I figured she was gonna endorse Trump, but this is her actually endorsing Trump. So Trump's out here right now. Let's see what he has to say.
And today I'm honored to officially welcome another true American patriot, a 17-year veteran of the Hawaii Army National Guard, a 4-term Democrat congresswoman, very, very popular, the former vice chair of the National Democratic Party and a 2020 Democrat candidate for the United States presidency. You know, she was a very good candidate. Every time she ran, she was good. She did well. She decided to leave. She couldn't take it anymore, but she is very special. And I didn't know this, but she was a lieutenant colonel. That's not bad. Lieutenant colonel. Not bad.
Yeah, she's a lieutenant
I didn't
colonel.
know that. You know, I just found out. I said, put it down. You got to put that down. That's bigger. That's better than all the other stuff I read. But no, she's a special person. She's got great common sense, great spirit. She loves our country, and she loves the people in this room. Tulsi Gabbard. Okay, Tulsi, please.
There she is. No music, so I don't have to pause the audio, luckily. Where is she?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Aloha.
Oh, yeah.
I know we got Hawaii in the house here. There we go. It is a privilege to be here with all of you, my brothers and sisters in uniform, especially on this day of all days. I had the privilege of joining President Trump this morning at Arlington Cemetery, where he joined 2 Gold Star families and loved ones of Staff Sergeant Hoover and Sergeant G, both of whom were 2 of the 13 killed in the Abbey Gate attack 3 years ago today in Kabul. And I can tell you, as we were there, as he laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier, joining these Marines' loved ones, I felt the sorrow that he shared with them in their loss. I felt and saw his sincere appreciation for these servicemen and women who paid the ultimate price and their loved ones who continue to grieve to this day.
It's amazing how they are criticizing Trump for being there. Why would they criticize him? Probably the old political stuff about how he said troops are dumb or whatever that he's said never happened multiple times. Who knows if it actually happened? Probably that, I'm assuming.
This is personal for me, as I know it is for so many of you here. This is real. It's not just words. I first deployed to Iraq in 2005 with the Hawaii Army National Guard as a member of Charlie Med. As those of you who were deployed during that time know, it was the height of the war, and sadly, we took many casualties. And every day we were confronted with that high human cost of war and that sadness as we boarded the plane when we left, that we were leaving some of our brothers and sisters behind, only to lose others when we got home to suicide. So I mean what I say when I share with you that I know that President Trump understands the grave responsibility that a president and commander-in-chief bears for every single one of our lives. Whether you're
So I think this is what you're talking about. Let me pull it up here. So I found an article. It says, Trump team pushes back on reported confrontation at Arlington Cemetery. It says the Trump campaign is blaming an Arlington National Cemetery official for a reported confrontation during the former president's visit there on Monday to make the anniversary of Kabul airport attack that killed 13 U.S. service members amid the withdrawal from Afghanistan. The incident, first reported by NPR, stemmed from the presence of a photographer with former President Trump's camp and broader concerns about election-related activities in a military cemetery. So what were they trying to say? Okay, federal law prohibits political campaign or election-related activities within National Guard military cemeteries to include photographers, content creators, or any other persons attending for purposes or in direct support of partisan political candidates. I actually didn't know that. I didn't know that you couldn't film like that for your campaign inside the cemetery. I knew obviously being in the military, we weren't allowed to like go to a rally in uniform or show that we endorsed any candidate or be like critical of the president or anything like that. But I didn't know you couldn't actually put on an event inside of the cemetery. So that's new. NPR, citing an anonymous source, reported a cemetery official tried to stop Trump staffers from filming and photographing in an area of the cemetery where soldiers recently killed in Afghanistan and Iraq are buried, known as Section 60. The source told NPR that Trump staffers pushed the official aside when they tried to stop campaign officials from entering the arena. Okay, so they actually had a little conflict. The fact is that a private photographer was permitted on the premises, and for whatever reason, an unnamed individual, clearly suffering from a mental health episode, decided to physically block members of President Trump's team during a very solemn ceremony. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of iffy. I don't know. I don't really have a take on that yet. Yeah. What's going on, Killer? How you doing, man?
You're a soldier, you're an airman, a Marine, sailor, or a coastie. He keeps us in his heart in the decisions that he makes. We saw this through his first term in the presidency, when he not only didn't start any new wars, he took action to de-escalate and prevent wars. He exercised the courage that we expect from our commander-in-chief in exhausting all measures of diplomacy, having the courage to meet with adversaries.
You never hear Biden or Harris going to them? That's true. I haven't seen them there in a while or doing anything like that. But I honestly just didn't know that you couldn't do political engagements inside a cemetery like that, which makes sense, you know? Like, to have a confrontation like that, though, about it, I don't know. That's weird. Yeah, Tulsi?
Dictators, allies, and partners alike in the pursuit of peace, seeing war as a last resort. The truth is, as we head towards our decision as a country in November, the same cannot be said about Kamala Harris. In fact, the opposite is true, and we're living through this reality today as this administration has us facing multiple wars on multiple fronts and regions around the world, and closer to the brink of nuclear war than we ever have been before. This is one of the main reasons why I'm committed to doing all that I can to send President.
I hate the hate Tulsi gets. Yeah, and the only reason she's getting the hate now is because she flopped on her party, which her party is crazy. I don't blame her. I feel like when I was younger, I was probably more of a Democrat too, but that party has changed so much that they have pushed people into being Republicans. And so now, of course, she's pretty much staying true to who she is, and now she's pretty much a Republican. But now she's going to get hate from the party of power. Apparently, neither Biden nor Harris has anything scheduled that day, but yet they said they couldn't make it work. Yeah, they haven't really done anything since the DNC at all. There's been no events. There's been no campaigns. There's been no interviews. They're taking quite a lot of time off. There hasn't even been a White House press briefing. There's nothing going on. Like we have not watched a press briefing for at least like a week now. There just hasn't been one.
Trump back to the White House where he can once again serve us as our commander-in-chief. Because I am confident that his first task will be to do the work to walk us back from the brink of war. We cannot be prosperous unless we are at peace. And we can't live free as long as we have a government that is retaliating against its political opponents and undermining our civil liberties, weaponizing our very institutions against those they deem as a threat. Kamala Harris has done this over the last 3.5 years. She won't hesitate to continue that if she is elected as president. President Trump has been their first and foremost target in this because they don't want us as voters to even have the option to vote for him. I've been their most recent target, added to a secret domestic terror watch list after exposing the truth about what kind of dangers we would face if Kamala Harris is elected as president.
Part of that, when she's talking about dangers, the thing that I'm really concerned about is the free speech thing. There are people literally in America, in this country, that don't believe in free speech anymore. Even if the speech is completely stupid, they want these people to actually be censored for misinformation. And I don't get it where these people are coming from. Maybe we're just raised differently, but I always thought like Americans were all for free speech. That's what we were always taught. We were always taught America. Yeah, first thing you think of, free speech. You can say whatever you want, granted within reason. You know, people always say like you can't run into a building and scream fire. Duh, I get that. You know what I'm talking about here. But yeah, you think of how school raised us. It was always America. We have free speech. You know, the government can't oppress us. We can say what we want. And now there's people that literally want to censor other people for misinformation. Even if it is misinformation, why wouldn't you combat that with more speech? I don't get it. This country's so just weird from what it used to be. Nobody believes in the American dream anymore. Literally, like I walk outside and I talk to people and it's like it seems like there's no hope. I don't get it. I don't know what's wrong with these people.
We as Americans must stand together to reject this anti-freedom culture of political retaliation and abuse of power. We can't allow our country to be destroyed by politicians who will put their own power ahead of the interests of the American people, our freedom, and our future.
Yes, their own power. So actually, the old Zuckerberg of Facebook and Meta, released his memo, 2 days ago, saying that the Biden administration censored him, forced him to censor his own platform, and he caved. He caved on him. Censored Facebook. He straight up admitted it. So it's no longer a debate about them censoring all of these social media platforms, even though it hasn't been for a while. But he said that was one of his great regrets, that he folded to the Biden administration and censored his own platform. I'm sure they came after him with a lot of hefty threats. Killer says it's the fact checking too. Yeah, and even you don't know the fact checking if that's correct or not. And, it depends on what source it's coming from. But you see like a lot of places like PolitiFact. Obviously they have their own spin as people on the left. And it's very clear that it's not an actual fact checking platform. It's funny how all the liberal media is now coming out saying that Zuckerberg meant to say the Trump administration for censoring him. Oh, no. I read the memo, the actual memo. That's not what he meant to say. We know for sure that's what the Biden administration was doing. And it just seems so American for people to jump behind that. I don't get how anybody, even if you are a Biden fan, you should still be able to go, okay, no, you shouldn't be censoring free speech. You could say an opinion and 9 out of 10, you'll get fact checked. Yeah, you definitely see that. On X, even on X, you get it too. And a lot of times I've noticed on X, even the fact checking there isn't even right, and that's probably more right wing. Because these fact checking things it's just a person. The person inputting their biased opinion into something. It's not usually looking at actual data and facts.
I am proud to stand here before you today, whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent. If you love our country, as I do, if you cherish peace and freedom as we do, I invite you to join me in doing all that we can to save our country and elect President Donald J. Trump and send him back to the White House to do the tough work of saving our country and serving the people.
And it's just weird because even she just endorsed Trump, and she's clearly still a classical Democrat. She is a Dem. And to see her endorse Trump is just like, what world are we living in where the Democrats are so far shifting their platform that they're pushing all of these people out of their party? You definitely see like RFK leaving, you see Tulsi leaving, and many more people that are just, they don't align with the Democrats anymore. Trump wants free speech. Biden-Harris tried to silence RFK and they failed. Yeah. And I saw something this morning too where he's not able to be taken off a ballot in one of the swing states. So they think that's going to still hurt Trump's campaign even after RFK endorsing him. Kudos to Twitter, at least having community notes. Yeah, definitely Twitter seems more fair. I'll give them that. But still, at the end of the day, it's just a person. It's a person who's biased. Well, they say that old Democrat policies are the new right. Yeah? You see Republicans moving to Democrat. Absolutely. You see people just dropping out of this party.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
And Trump's just picking up all the supporters everywhere he goes.
Well, thank you, Tulsi. I heard that might happen, but I wasn't sure. And it happened because she's really an amazing person. So I look forward to working with Tulsi and everybody in this room, actually. And as Tulsi mentioned early this morning, Tulsi and I were at Arlington National Cemetery with the families of service members who lost their lives in the catastrophic withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that we withdrew, but the way they did it. We were going to do it with dignity and strength. We were in the process of getting out. We would have never given up Bagram, one of the biggest air bases in the world, 1 hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons. We gave it up. We gave them everything. China took it over. China now occupies it. Can you imagine? The longest, most powerful runways, I think 8 feet of concrete down. And we gave it all up, spent billions and billions of dollars years ago building it, 1 hour away. And we're gone. And now China occupies it. And today I'm honored.
There we go.